We are live, kind of. Oh, there we are. Jared, bring us in.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a stream in Scarlet, the Scarlet Rhapsody live stream we do every Tuesday at 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock PDT, because we do have some of our East Coast friends listening in.
Thank you for listening. And we are always talking about something nerd culture related, convention culture related, and sometimes whatever is just interesting us at the moment.
So we decided to do a little something different here. We actually, our title image, our title card actually lists the topics that we're talking about. So when you browse through YouTube and you see your thing, like he's like, oh, hey, they're talking about this and that and other stuff.
That's what we do. We talk about stuff.
And things. So just kind of like our week in a nutshell. Jared the Greek and I, aka Eri Kagami, we're doing the Disney Bound Challenge, and it's coming to an end here. So the March Disney Bound Challenge, if you've been following our socials, see our links in our bio. We've been doing the March Disney Bound Challenge where they give you a prompt and you have to take the prompt and do a Disney Bound related to that prompt, kind of like those art prompts for all the artists on social media, but this one is more like coming up in an outfit based on what they give you in the prompt. This year's Disney Bound Challenge has been pretty interesting to a point where okay, I feel like I'm just going through mostly brown stuff right now because okay, today was Bambi and I didn't want to have to bust out my usual brown dress again because okay, I was Fozzie for Muppets Day from the Great Muppet Caper.
It's been that way for me where I literally changed something going okay, I can't do that because I've just used my black suit 3 days in a row. Can I do something else, please?
And yeah, I know if they try to challenge you to think outside the box, but there are characters that I kind of want to bound and represent Fozzie from the Great Muppet Caper because he has that press kind of get up to it. And plus the Great Muppet Caper just needs more love. It's literally, I think, the best of all the live action Muppet movies.
Yeah, I might agree with that.
You're not going to fight me on that?
I like the original probably the most, but...
Original's a classic, but if I had to choose a favorite, it would definitely be this particular movie. Where they go to England, have England adventures. John Cleese is there as a cameo.
And there's a scene where it's John Cleese and whoever played his wife in
Faulty Towers.
Yes. Just eating a dinner. My dear, there's a pig on our window. Indeed. And they just keep they're so British. I do like that movie. The original is just a classic, so it's always going to have a warm place in my heart. But the thing is, a lot of movies that people have, a lot of feels for, like Muppet Treasure Island, it's okay. Muppet Christmas Carol, I really like.
I enjoyed Muppet Christmas Carol. That was a good one.
But I'd still rank original Muppet movie and Great Muppet Caper above it. So, but only by inches. Because I do feel that that's a very good... It's a great movie, Muppet Christmas Carol. It's probably one of my favorite interpretations alongside Scrooged.
Yeah, those were pretty good interpretations of the original Charles Dickens' work. And speaking of Charles Dickens, we were kind of on the same page with Oliver and Company where we did Billy Joel's character, aka Dodger. But I like the song Why Should I Worry? But I was kind of looking at the other dogs too. I wanted to do Bette Midler dog, but I'm okay, I don't have enough blue fluff or anything that makes...
Oh, it's the poodle.
Yeah, the poodle. I don't have anything white in my wardrobe because I like to avoid white where I can because white gets dirty. And it gets stained. And if you stain on it, yeah, it's there.
It's one of those ones where I was this is such an odd out of left field choice. Because I'm why?
And it's funny too because the people who are yeah, we remember Oliver and Company, and then all the Gen Zers who are doing it's what's Oliver and Company?
Yeah, I saw it in theaters. One of the few movies I did see in theaters as a kid.
And then when you go to our generation, what the hell's Descendants?
Well, I tend to think of Ascendants as emo trash. When I saw the cast of it, I was I'm not going as any of those people. They're emo trash. And I just decided to rebel against the prompt in my own way. Also, I want to point something out for all of you who are not familiar with your Disney lore. The Wicked Queen already has a daughter. She tried to murder her.
And also because I know we talked about it a couple of times before, Kingdom Hearts 3 kind of took a while to get that sequel here. Like, why isn't it a prompt?
Also, thus far, it is one of the highest selling games of the year.
FYI, whoever writes the March Disney Bound Challenge. FYI.
And look, even if you're not going to limit yourself to the original characters, if you allow it just for everything, then do Cinderella, do Belle, do the Beast, do Aladdin, do Jasmine, Genie, Tarzan. Well, there was a Tarzan prompt already. But you have a lot of options outside of even the original characters. And those could be their own prompts, but the ones that aren't their own prompts allow you to kind of play around with that. I mean, hell, Frozen was just added with part 3 because Frozen didn't exist when the previous games.
And thanks to Amazon gift cards, we are actually finally getting ordering 2.8, and that should be at our doorstep tomorrow, along with Kingdom Hearts 3, because we are going through the whole thing in order, and we've been doing this since October.
It's a lot of games.
It's a lot of time, a lot of games, and a lot of feels.
And it's one of those things where, you know, when you have stuff come up like conventions or trips to Europe or
life in general,
Christmas, yeah, things, the holiday season itself is just, hey, let's take a bunch of oranges in a sack and beat you with it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the holidays just doesn't stop. You'd think that'd be the time where it's like, oh, cool, all the time in the world to game. Nope, not even close. Not even remotely. But yeah, we're getting through this. It's kind of cool because we're at a point now where it's games I just haven't played before. Although technically, I mean, I never played 358 either, but that was just cutscenes. But like, I never got the chance to play the full version of Birth by Sleep. I never got the chance to play Dream Drop Distance. I am glad I never played Coded, which then got turned into Recoded. It's just a bunch of cutscenes because, man, that storyline can go straight to hell. That's the most worthless waste of time in possibly the entire franchise. I did not like Recoded, people.
Recoded, yeah, I could have done without Recoded. I'm like, okay, 2-sentence summary, because you don't really get much out of Recoded.
Really don't, and I think if I played it, I would be really annoyed because it's so recappy. That's like, hey, just do things you've already done before. And it's like, enjoy. It's my favorite thing, just redoing crap I've already done.
All right, so let's talk about kind of our main topics at hand.
Yeah, we really should.
Yeah. All right, so there was an article that was making the rounds from Kotaku of all sources, because when I rely on sources when it comes to the convention scene, I rely on Kotaku. And it's making the rounds, and the title of this article is called Cosplay is Outgrowing Cosplay Conventions. Cosplay conventions.
One, there's no such thing as a cosplay conventions. There's convention cosplay, but there's not cosplay.
You have conventions with cosplay.
I think there was one attempt at doing like a cosplay con or something like that.
There was actually a couple attempts in using the term cosplay con to some degree, but there are events called Costume College and Costume Con, which is more focused on actual like crafting, leveling up your costuming skills, which I'd be more down for. But the thing is, those events usually cost a little bit more because it's more of a seminar focused type of environment where you can also buy sewing supplies and like sewing machines, embroidery machines, and they also have like their own flair with masquerades, theme days. So you are also showing off costumes too, but you're not doing it in a sense to like, hey, let's do this for my Insta fame and self-promotion. You're more doing it to improve your skills and to meet other like-minded people within costuming to like, hey, I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn this aspect of historical costuming. Again, be more down for that than let's just get into the article.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so this was written by Luke Plunkett.
Oh man, I love his review of Star Wars.
So basically, it just covers this event that was happening during the same time at Katsucon at the MGM Casino in Maryland within the vicinity. The event is called S-Class.
Oh my god, I heard about this. This sounded like a complete cluster.
So S-Class, even though the article says it wasn't designed to compete with Katsucon, you and I have been to Katsucon, and it is a very nice location to get cosplay photos, but I think Katsucon as a con offers a lot of 24-hour programming that we don't go to Katsucon to get into fancy cosplay photos, even though people who do go to Katsucon, there is a contingency of that kind of crowd. But Katsucon's a good con, and I appreciate that their dealers hall and artist alley is like open, like even in the evening, which is not really much of a thing out here on the West Coast.
Yeah, it's also the con that made me start to get my general dislike for cosplayers and especially cosplay photographers.
Yeah, we had a pretty bad experience there in the sense there was like a couple of cosplayers and photographers who were ghosting, and basically they were just taking up space. And at one point, I had a panic attack, and this photographer told me to move out the way, but like, hi, I'm having a panic attack, butthole.
Yeah.
So a lot of it
They also
comes down to like just really rude people thinking that they're entitled to the space, whether or not they have a badge or not. Meaning that like, yeah, we can block traffic, we can like use our heavy equipment to just be in the way of walkways. Because I've actually seen people block the pathway out of the escalator to set up, and like, I'm not cool with that.
It's at that point where if I was not as good of a guy as I am, and I'm surprised no one else did this, I would have just tipped their stuff over and said, like, get out the way, as the song goes.
Mm-hmm.
Because look, I don't care if people only get photos at the gazebo or that fake forest they have down.
I like that foresty fake forest.
Or right by the docks or right outside the building.
Do not block traffic.
But do not block traffic. I feel like New York Puppet needs to go and explain to them,
I like New York
get out of
Puppet.
the way. Do not block traffic. People have places to go, and you, little Mr. Fat Man with a camera, you need to F right off and get out of our way.
And what Katsucon did this year, if you listen into our podcast with Lee May on our channel, we did a 0 hour where we talked to Katsucon. They actually cracked down on lobby conners and people without badges. So if you're in the gazebo area, you best bet you had your badge. And that you weren't blocking anything. And one of the reasons why Katsucon has been stricter on photography is because of things that you've described.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, good on them, because like, yeah, if you're blocking traffic, if you're blocking like any major walkway, like, yeah, you should be told to like, step aside. But anyway, these are, so this guy named Sean McCoy decided to create an event called S-Class. And he advertised it as like, oh, it's like this luxury event for cosplayers and we're just going to rent out a ballroom and some bar. I'm like looking at the photos here and just kind of the background. Like, okay, all you got is like this fancy schmancy bar.
I think I know what the S stands for.
And you're hailing yourself as a luxury event. And the article doesn't say if this event you had to pay like a registration fee or like admittance fee. I'm hearing a lot of different things down the line, whether or not you had to pay to be part of this event. And it's not only until now I'm hearing about this, because when it comes to con tea, for lack of a better word, like, spill the tea, I usually would see something like this pop up first. So it sounded like it was a private event and that Kotaku somehow decided to like give publicity to, because this is the only site that's talking about it.
And for reasons, it doesn't sound like it was much of an event to begin with. And anyone who says this was not designed to compete or be a spite event is full of garbage. Because why would you set it on the same day? Now, there's sometimes where it's unfortunate timing. TitanCon is a little event here in Southern California, and they have unfortunate timing of being the same time as WonderCon. That happens. But TitanCon does not exist as a counter WonderCon. It never has. This is just unfortunate timing on their part. This, however, seems like it's just spiteful camera people and
like, oh, we don't like your policy, Katsucon. We're just going to start our own event with hookers and booze.
Blackjack. It's hookers and blackjack's the one.
My bad. Well, there was playing blackjack at the MGM casino.
Yeah. So they weren't wrong.
And basically just kind of the way the article comes off, it just makes it sound like this is like, oh, it's the first time it's happened. Like, oh, it's so yeah, it's luxury, blah blah blah, it's elite. And I'm like, guys, I've been going to cosplay picnics where we just kind of like just chill in costume at the nearest regional park, take photos, play games.
Well, not only that, but I've co-hosted events that were very posh events for cosplayers called ballroom dances. This isn't anything new. This is someone who has no idea what's going on in the convention scene and decides this is like their new luxury. I'm like, what are you talking about?
You're making it sound like Fire Festival for cosplay.
Yeah.
You're making it sound like a FOMO type of event. And then like people, and then like a couple of other people's like, oh, I don't see a problem with that. Well, the problem is just how they're reporting it and making it sound like you have to go to like a luxury type of thing to get nice cosplay photos. And it's also kind of perpetuating like this divide that there is an A-class type of a cosplayer. And like, I'm just kind of like just going through the photos. And if any of you have seen the Addams Family Values, it feels like that summer camp that Wednesday and Pugsley are forced to go to. It just kind of has that vibe. It's like, yeah, if me and my cosplay buddies that were at this, I'm like, yeah, we probably be the weird ones out.
Or to quote Peter Griffin, awful lot of honkies in here.
And that's what being privileged is all about.
Yep. Actual line from Adam's Family Values.
No, I was even just posting that as a joke because I was just kind of glancing through the article because people were asking my opinion about it. I was like, oh, I'll just scroll through. Like, I'm getting like this Camp Chippewa kind of vibe to it, and I just want to set it on fire. But anyway, like, it's nothing new. Like, you don't really, you don't have to pay like a whole sum of money. You don't have to be at a luxury type of location to get nice cosplay photos. Like, hey, if you want to use, I'll put myself on the spot. I actually did go to a casino to take pictures of my Nico Christmas outfit. Yes, because when my family was staying at Caesar's Palace, my younger brother has a DSLR. Like, you know what? Las Vegas has a lot of amazing Christmas decorations during this time of year. Let's get some Nico photos. And I did it at zero cost. But then I treated my brother to like a 3-course meal at Caesar's Palace and introduced him to various amounts of booze. That's how I paid my photographers.
Yeah, your brother needs to not drink. It tends to make him
angry,
yelling
at hotel staff, getting to like arguments at hotel staff.
Yeah,
and and you know what, the article is just has been like just making its rounds, and just people are just essentially saying the same, having the same reaction. Like, you know what, you don't really need a luxury event to get some nice cosplay quality photos. One of my buddies up in Seattle, she used to live in this area where there's like this beach where you can like just take some photos there, and like no one would like just hassle you for them. And she got like a couple of really nice photos at like this cove in San Francisco.
Also, a lot of conventions have really nice backgroundy things that you can go with, or in locations that aren't just a ballroom.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing about this article. It just makes it sound like, oh yeah, like cosplayers aren't really having their needs met at conventions and blah blah blah. Like, I go to cons for the guest, for the shopping. I want to support artists. I like attending panels. I just wear cosplay just to enhance my experience. And if I get a photo shoot in, that's great. I get a photo shoot in, but I actually like supporting the people who make my fandom and who contribute to my fandom, and I want to keep supporting them. Like, I still want to get selfies with Michelle Ruff when I'm cosplaying as Fujiko, and I'm very hyped to see Azure Lane at Anime Expo, and I'm gonna bring like my Azure Lane Ida bag. I have the readers and just like the people work things out, and just having like, I don't know, just a separate Spite event. Like, I don't know, because the rule of thumb has always been for me is like, if you feel like your needs aren't being met by the convention, find a way how you can contribute back to that con. Like, I remember you and I were just kind of like, there's not a lot of old school panels in the area. Let's like host some like old school anime panels and let's school these kids.
Yeah, that's had varying degrees of success.
Indeed.
It tends to be what my panels are. I've said that the only panels I'm going to do from now on are either classic anime panels or video game panels.
And not to sound like we're hypocrites either, you and I, we actually attended an off-site photo shoot event. Let's transition into that called, it's hosted by the studio called Light. And this is my third time attending their open house photo shoots. Like every other month, they have an open house where you pay about like $10, $20. And it's pretty much like a mix and mingle type thing where you have some snacks, meet photographers, using their varying backgrounds to get some cosplay photos. It runs from 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock in the evening. I usually bring 3 costumes to get some nice shots of. Jared, what were your first impressions? Because this is your first time attending a Make Light open house.
I was pleasantly surprised. First off, the sets they have are actually really nice. They had 1, 2, 3, 4 major sets, and then a handful of little backgroundy things that kind of can also work. They had a bathroom for changing, and a dressing room for more like, adjusting your wig, putting on certain makeup or what have you. I didn't want to take up too much time in that bathroom when I changed between costumes, so I put on like my shirt and pants and then ran back, into the other things so I could sit down on a chair and adjust, everything else, and my vest and my cravat and all of that and my wig. But it was very much a surprise. People were very friendly there. I had a couple of photographers take my photo, which is so weird to me because being a male cosplayer means no guy wants to take my photo unless his name is Bart. Oh, there might be one other guy.
Yeah, there was another guy. And I had the photos from the other guy.
No. I mean, just in general. I'm not talking about at this event. I mean, in general, it's Bart.
Robert keeps asking.
Yeah,
he keeps asking about you. Like, and whenever I run into him, like, hey, where's Jared? I want to get some pictures of his dick, Tracy.
Yeah, so Bart and Robert are like the only 2 people who will ever take my photo, unless it's random dude who's like, oh my god, you're cosplaying as insert character I know, and I'm like, I am. I'm like the one guy who does it because that's kind of how I set up most of my costume things. But here, it was just kind of cool. It was just another person was like, oh, can I take a photo of you now that you're in this ballroom? Yes. Can I take a photo of you in the clock room? Yeah, sure. Can I? It's like just people just pop up like, oh, this is. Now I don't know how many of these photos I'll actually get around to seeing, but hey, people are going at it, so we'll see what happens. And then the cosplayers I met were decently cool people. I'm not like the most social of people, but Stephanie was very classy. She stayed to her name. And Guy,
yeah, we ran to her like in the parking lots. Like, oh hey, there's a pinup in the parking lots. My people. And
Guy I talked about mecha anime with seemed pretty on the level. Seemed like a cool dude. I don't know his name, but he seemed nice.
Yeah, he was cosplaying from My Hero Academia as guy whose name that starts with a T that I can't remember.
Yes, the guy who has like white hair on one side and like red hair on the other side. That guy. Split hair man.
I think you'd like the character.
He said he's like the Neji of that series. I'm like, oh, well, that already puts him in the cool category for me because Neji was one of my favorite Naruto characters. But yeah, we're talking mecha stuff. He wanted to, blah, 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 blah. He wanted to know my thoughts on Iron Blood Orphans, which is a Gundam series, on Double O and Double O getting another season, which just makes my teeth want to grind because it feels so unnecessary. And after it's really stupid, endless waltz type ending, it just kind of makes me go, where do you go from here? This is going to turn into Gundam Seed Destiny, people. Don't do it. Things are too wrapped up with a bow. Stop it. Bad. I mean, I'd rather see like a follow-up to After War Gundam X or a follow-up to the Universal Century. Let's go past Victory Gundam, please. So I have thoughts like that in my mind, rather than let's take a series that was okay and then add an extra season that makes no sense. But I think they're getting tired of doing Universal Century stuff since they've been doing so many OVAs tied to the Universal Century. However, it's very nice just talking to someone like that who, he knows more of the modern stuff. That's fine. I don't care. I can adjust. I can talk. And like I said, just kind of a surprise. Wish there was kind of a bigger variety of things on the food table.
Well, it was kind of a potluck, so everyone just had to bring something in. I just decided, like, okay, let's be Team Chips.
You weren't even the only Team Chips, though.
Yeah, next time we'll just do something a little bit more creative. If you have time, like, you could probably bake something or, like, make something.
Yeah.
Because you used to bring it, like, what, your peanut butter squares?
No, I would usually do, because it's what we had the most ingredients for, snickerdoodles. One time I did, what are they called? Shortbread cookies, because I had an excessive amount of flour and like nothing else. I hate shortbread cookies, so I have no idea how good those were. I modified the recipe to try and make them taste better, because I hate shortbread cookies. They taste terrible to me, so I had to modify it to try and make it taste better, and then I never tried one. I have done peanut butter cookies on occasion. They're just as easy to do as snickerdoodles. They're just don't seem to be as appreciated as much. Everyone really likes the cinnamon sugary goodness, and not so many people seem to ever go, oh my God, peanut butter cookies, so good. So that's why I didn't really do those as often. But yeah, we always had a ton of baking ingredients in our house. We had a decent oven, and so I just did them. I didn't do chocolate chip cookies because I always felt someone would bring some, Chips Ahoy, or someone would do chocolate chip cookies, and usually someone did do chocolate chip cookies. So I tried to be the alternative cookie.
Well, next time around, we should probably bring some boysenberry cookies or something boysenberry related.
I really, really, really could have used something that was healthy-ish.
Well, I was eating out of the carrot bag.
Yeah, that looked a little. I'm too OCD to do that. Let's just put it that way. I would have actually liked to have seen, say, like cheese sticks, like string cheese or something, or jerky maybe. Probably could have eaten out of the jerky bag. Feels like a little less worrisome. Things like that would have been nice. Even granola bars, which for the most part are not really a health food because they're so packed with like sugar and stuff to make them taste good that, but at least it's like has some protein and whatever that'll kind of keep me going, versus kind of how I was feeling there near the end where I was going to pass out, which was also due to the fact that like my legs and back were really hurting. So I was wearing my boots, which is fine for part of it, but I was wearing my dress shoes for most of it. My dress shoes have no padding because dress shoes are not allowed to have padding for some reason. And so I'm just walking on hard floors in hard-soled shoes, and I have back issues to begin with. And so pain starts building up in my legs and just shoots up my legs right to my lower back. And by the end of the thing, I had to have help to get back to the car, and I had to get back. I had to swap my shoes out. I had to take some medicine for my back. And that's not the fault of Make Light Studios. They were great. It's the fact that I was wearing dress shoes the whole time. That was me not thinking ahead and kind of choosing two characters who wear dress shoes. Next time I'll try to change that up. My boots are actually pretty good because there's enough kind of give on my boots that they're fine. Plus I double layered my socks for my boots because of the way my boots fit. It's less grindy on my foot if I can add a layer of softness in addition to like a thinner sock. So I'm getting sidetracked about my foot problems and back problems. What I want to say is people were very good. Locations, I don't really have a lot of costumes that worked well for the locations. But
well, you also have to think outside the box too, because that's when we got the idea, like, okay, Giovanni, he can be anywhere.
Technically, yes. Primarily, we used the ballroom,
which is huge. You can fit 9 gals in there. You can do the whole Love Live Victorian ballroom shoot in there and have no issue.
Yeah, I could have done the Berserk ballroom shoot. Let's get everyone up in there.
Big Pimpin'.
Play Big Pimpin' in the background. Watch Berserk Abridged, people. It's awesome. And the clock room was pretty cool. I know a lot of people were really into that one. That was the one I was waiting for Giovanni. I'm like, I want that clock picture. It looks like a base. Looks like a James Bond villain base. For some reason, just Bond villain just has a clock in the background. Why? Bond villain. If it had a giant fan, a giant slow moving fan, that would also feel very villain base. Because there was that weird era where every villain had to have giant fans. Do you know what I'm talking about, right? I'm not crazy.
Yes, you're not crazy.
And I'm like, what part of where's the giant design fan facility? Like when you're designing your evil base, someone's in there like, you know what? Giant fan right here. What's it going to do? Nothing. It serves no ventilation purpose. It'll just look really intimidating in like this weird reddish light that we have coming through because we're not going to use real light bulbs. Let's put red light bulbs. Coolsies. Or no, gels. They're using gels, not using red light bulbs. Red light bulbs didn't exist. They were using stage gels. Which is kind of a cool concept. Honestly, if I was a supervillain, I'd totally use stage gels for all my lights. Well, because why not? It would freak out the good guy. If he comes in, it's like, man, this place is freaky. It's like weird red lights everywhere. Why isn't there normal lighting in here? It's like villain base. Oh yeah.
Also, what I like about Make Light Studios is that they always rotate their sets in and out. So for this season, for this particular day, we also had the Japanese tea room, which is one of the reasons why I brought my Taisho Romance Maki.
Yeah, if Shiki was still in good condition, that would have worked really well for me.
If your Aizen was still in good condition, I can see it there too.
Aizen's in good condition. My hair just isn't quite Aizen-y right now.
So you just need to wait for your hair to be Aizen-y to take some Aizen photos?
It needs to get a little bit longer than what it currently is. Or I just need to get an Aizen wig to no longer have to have that problem. But otherwise, no, it's in fine condition. It's in the my costume bin. I didn't want to bring 3 costumes is more of the issue. And I'm glad I didn't, changing and changing. However, walking around in the sandals may have been better for my feet by the end of the day. Maybe. Not sure.
Yeah, I brought 3 costumes to this shoot. I brought Erika Itsumi from Girls in Panzer, which I wasn't quite sure like where I would get photos of her, but I brought her anyway because I want some photos. Because I wanted some photos of Erika Itsumi from Girls in Panzer because I only wore her once at Fanime. And like, I like that costume. I like how it looks on me. I just haven't had time to get some quality photos. It's like, okay, I can just bring Erika Itsumi over to this event. And this is what I like about photo shoots at event like these is that like, okay, I can like just bring costumes that I don't really have an opportunity to get photos of because at cons, I'm usually just going from point A to point B because my day is pretty busy just doing press stuff. But here, like, oh, I can relax. I can like just chit chat with the photographers and we can like just get our photos taken. And the nice thing about it is there's nothing like elitist. There's no air of elitism. There's no air of like, oh, I'm better than you kind of vibe to it. Like everyone's pretty friendly. Everyone's introducing each other to each other. Everyone's asking like, oh yeah, where are you costuming from? Like, it looks awesome. Like, oh, hey, nice costume. And I just like just how supportive that environment is. And like, you know, this is why I keep going. And if you're all are curious and if you're all in Southern California, the next Make Light event is on April 20th. We won't be at that event because we will be in Boston.
Yep.
But we highly recommend it. And if you haven't had a chance to check out Make Light Studios and you're in Southern California, highly recommend. Follow them on Facebook to get more information about tickets.
These events are essentially once a month, right?
Yeah, once a month, for the most part.
Okay, so even if you can't go to April's, there might be one in May. There's definitely one in June, because I think we'll be going to the June one.
Yes, we're going to the June one. That's June 1st. That's the post-Fanime one. Nothing's going to go on in May, and they're also going to have a pre-Anime Expo one.
Okay, so sorry about May, but June we'll be there. If you want to meet up with us, got costume requests, we can buddy up. It'll be fun.
Yeah, just make a comment in the comments and like let's team up. Or if you want to see Jared make something for the potluck, comment in the comments and let's see if Jared can make it.
I can make anything. I might not be able to make chiffon cake with a campfire, but I'm pretty darn good.
He's won awards.
I have. In like the most anime of style too. Taking on the rival who has a horrible personality and is mixed with, I come from a family of chefs. And I beat her. I felt so good about myself.
I remember like the time when you had to figure out like, who is this crazy person on a dance floor? And I had to pull you aside and have to talk to you in vague terms. Like, hey, Jared, do you remember that anime from last February? It was like the cooking contest arc.
Except for like we've seen multiple cooking themed animes, which did not help. And then you kind of was like, you mentioned the what I ended up baking for that contest. And I was like, oh. Why is she allowed at cons? Isn't there a no jerks allowed sign out here somewhere?
If only, Jared. If only.
I thought, would I be allowed at cons if no jerks are allowed?
Jared, but you're the cool jerk.
I am.
When they see you walking down the street, hey, hey, that's as bad as this 1, 2, 3, hey, hey, I'm a Mrs. Noel, the king with the cool jerk. Cool jerk. Now I want some Cool Whip.
I tend to find that I fall in the category of what soap opera fans call the guy you love to hate. Where I'm the bad guy, but I'm the good-looking, charismatic bad guy, and you can't help but love me.
And that's why they keep you on the show.
Yep. I bring in the ladies.
But yeah, definitely check Make Light Studios. Next event's 420. Oh,
Nice.
oh, okay.
Okay. I'll see how all that goes.
And on that weekend, we're gonna be at Anime Boston. They actually have a couple of announcements here.
Yay!
Let's see. Apparently, they're doing a fast pass for panels this year.
Huh.
Huh. Does Anime Boston really need a fast pass for their lines?
No, but what they need is a teleporter between the one set of rooms and the other set of rooms. As I was complaining about that earlier this week, as to and their response to me, which was, "You just got a plan." I'm like, "Plan? I have 5 minutes to go from the tower of the hotel all the way down and into the convention center. By the time I get to that room, it's already filled to capacity. You can take your planning and shove it up your bum." No, you stagger your damn panels. How hard is it to stagger the panels? They do not stagger the panels. I've been to Comic Cons that have 2 panel rooms, and they stagger the panels. One always starts at the 30-minute mark, and one starts at the standard hour mark. Wouldn't it be that hard to have the convention center one start at the 30-minute mark, and the tower one start at the 1 hour mark? That way, if you finish a panel in the tower or in the convention center, you have 30 minutes to make it to the one in the other location. It's not that hard to do. When Long Beach Comic Con can do it, when LA Comic Con can do it, when Titan Con can freaking do it, you have no excuse. As organized as Anime Boston is, that still pisses me off. And I know I'm going to look at the schedule this year and go, "Oh, screw you, staff. And screw you, programming."
Well, let's just see what programming looks like this year before you make any quick judgments.
I know, but I'm still feeling they're not going to stagger it, even though that was my recommendation, and they refused to do it. Hell, I even went to a con where they actually staggered it at the hour mark, the 15-minute, the 30-minute, the 45 minutes marks. Said for each room. I think that was Otakon does that, I think, where it's like one room begins at the hour, one room begins at 15-minute, one at 30-minute, one at 45-minute. And I was like, brilliant. Each room starts. Now, yes, it sucks if you want to go to one panel that starts at 1 o'clock and one panel that starts at 1:15, but that would be no different if both panels began at 1 o'clock. You'd have to flip a coin regardless. But if you finish your 1 o'clock panel at 2, and the next room, the panel you want to see, starts at 2:15, even if those panels are further away from each other, you can still make it within 15 minutes.
All right.
I hate being the smartest person in whatever room I'm in.
I got some better news for you, Jared, regarding Anime Boston.
Okay.
Anime Boston is thrilled to host a Boston premiere of
Please be Penguin Highway.
Penguin Highway.
Yes! I am so down. I got invited to a screening of Penguin Highway, and unfortunately it was in North Hollywood on Saturday morning, and I was like, oh God, no, I can't. Even unless I go there Friday, unless I stay at a North Hollywood hotel at Friday. Also, North Hollywood, are you kidding me? Maybe NoHo is nicer than what I remember it being, but what I remember NoHo being is a trash heap. And then there's 2 others that are happening midweek at 6 o'clock. I'm like, yep, perfect time to get off work and teleport 100 miles so I can actually get to see these screenings. So 3 screenings in Southern California. They're all in LA, all in times that do not work for anyone unless you live in LA and you're unemployed.
Now let's see what. Now we showed you the trailer for Penguin Highway before the show, and you were kind of confused with what the plot is. So I will go ahead and read the plot right here, as described on the Anime Boston website.
All right.
All right. So, a tale of youth, passion, and science.
Sure, it's Japanime. That's what they're all about.
Budding genius Ayama is in the 4th grade, but lives his life like a scientist. When penguins start appearing in the sleepy suburb hundreds of miles from the sea, Ayama vows to solve the mystery. When he finds out the source of penguins is a woman from his dentist's office, they team up for an unforgettable summer adventure. Theme song by Hikaru Tada.
I know her. She's from the video games.
She told you actually did a cover of her song "Face My Fears" on your YouTube channel, Eat the Magic.
She's from the video games.
You did a cover of Face My Fears, and you're singing this Face My Fears in a teacup.
I think she sang the main theme to Halo? No? Was it a JRPG? Oh, Final Fantasy X. No, it was Eyes on Me. It was Eyes on Me. That's what she sang.
No, that was Tupac.
Oh, well, then I don't know. But I heard she's from some sort of video game franchise that's really popular.
Well, yeah, you did a cover of Face My Fears in a teacup. You can watch it on Eat the Magic. Jared plays Kingdom Hearts 3 in Disneyland. That was a fun video.
I'm just saying that, like, this plot sounds completely stupid, but I'm still down because it's just penguin shenanigan adventures. It'd be like Mr. Popper's Penguins, the movie, but good.
Okay.
I wanted that movie to be good, people. I loved that book series as a kid.
I've never read that book series.
There's two animals I feel are like my animals. Winged serpents, penguins. Those are my animals.
All right. So that's it for news for NA Boston.
So down. I'm so glad for this. There's going to be coverage. There's going to be like live streaming in line. I'll be doing the Instagram stories. I'll be like, I'm on the stories here in the line for the Penguin Highway. It's going to be the coolest Japanime ever. It has no robots, but that's okay because it has penguins. And unless something has a penguin robot, that might be the only thing that might be better in my mind. There's probably something with a penguin robot if I actually took the time to find that. I bet that exists. It has to exist, right?
So, Jared, why'd you like penguins so much?
Well, they're fancy dressers. They carry eggs on their feet. They're one of the coolest villains in Batman. Fight me on that, folks. And Emperor penguins are freaking huge. They're like human-sized. It's crazy.
All right, in other convention news, there's plenty of tea coming out of Kamehameha.
Oh, God.
So Kamehameha is a Dragon Ball focused convention that takes place in Irving, Texas. And
Big Fat Irving?
It sounds like it's been around for like a couple of years. I mean, some of the guests include Team 4-Star. Jerry, still there?
Yeah, I've seen them before.
Yes, you have.
It's so sad. Like,
and you've also seen this other guest before, Ryo Horikawa.
I not only that, I danced with him. Well,
yeah, dancing was fun.
Let me rephrase that. I was a background dancer while he sang songs alongside a handful of other cosplayers. It was like the best mid-show halftime show that a convention has ever had. And I think more conventions need to have dancing cosplayers and someone singing like anime theme songs.
And so this Dragon Ball Focus convention, when the whole Vic Mignogna allegations came out, they dropped him from their guest lineup. And just recently, they added him back on.
That doesn't seem like a good choice.
Yeah, as of March 22nd, please welcome Brawley, a.k.a. Vic Mignogna, to Kamehameha 2019. And that takes place April 12th through 14th over in Irving. That weekend's going to bring up a lot of tea. I guarantee you. No pun intended. And so much so that there have been voice actors that also drop from the convention upon this announcement. Such actors include Monica Rial, a.k.a. Bulma, Damon Mills, a.k.a. Frieza, Jason Douglas, Beerus.
We're just losing the entire supercast right now.
And additionally, we've also lost a couple of other actors. I'm going by the ANN article here. Josh Grell, Grand Minister, and creator Dragon Ball Literature have also canceled their scheduled appearances. Additionally, they don't name the names here. With another voice actress also just canceled too as of the 25th. Sarah Weintef, King Zeno, also canceled her appearance.
Huh.
And also several panelists have also dropped from Kamehameha. Monica did mention on Twitter that she wants to have like a separate fan event because she's going to be in the area anyway. And she's like, yeah, like if fans want to meet me, I'll do like a separate fan signing. And I also feel bad for...
There is one like anime shop or like comic shop that's going to jump on that immediately because that's just customers, instant customers.
And I also feel bad for like the Dragon Ball fans who were planning to come from out of state to fly out to this event, and they're at a point where they can't refund their flights, or they're kind of at the point of no return where they can't refund their badges or anything like that. And it's like, okay, like we'd like to kind of cut from this, but like, we'll just see if we can like just make the most of what we can do with what's given here. I mean, it's still got Team 4-star, but at the same time, given the allegations and just the move on Kamehameha Khan's part, like re-inviting Vic Mignogna in wake of these allegations, I don't blame them for dropping.
This feels like a publicity stunt to me. This feels like they didn't sell enough tickets, and they're hoping doing this will get the Stick with Vic people to flood the convention, which I don't think that's how that works. Because I think you're going to lose a lot more people than you will gain by trying to do this kind of stunt.
Because the way I'm looking at it at this here, it's like you're sacrificing a lot of your main cast for a minor character that only appears like in a couple movies and games,
and sacrificing a couple minor characters as well. But yeah, I mean, losing Beerus, losing Bulma, those are big losses right there. Frieza as well. Those aren't characters where people are going like, well, you know what, Frieza's in one episode. It's like, no, Frieza has a story arc named after him.
And if you've been following the whole Vic Mignogna situation, Vic Mignogna has also harassed Monica Rial on the job.
Yes, and her friends.
And like, yeah, I mean, there also have been like reports like, yeah, but they appeared in conventions together like in the past couple of years, blah 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 blah. I'm like, well, really depends on the context. Like sometimes, like if, for example, Anime Expo is doing a premiere of something, you kind of want to get like the whole cast together for something there, or you know, sometimes guests don't always have to mingle with like one another, but in the way how I can't pronounce it. Kamehameha Khan just kind of like, okay, we dropped Vic. Oh, by the way, he's back. Just seemed like a very odd move on their part.
That's why I keep thinking publicity stunt. Because to me, that feels very, very publicity stunt.
Because honestly, I haven't even heard about this con until this whole allegations thing just kind of popped up. Like, oh, hey, there's a Dragon Ball con? Since when? And apparently the guy who also did music for the American localization of Dragon Ball is also a politician in Texas.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. I thought that was kind of funny because I'm like, wow, what an odd direction for your life to take. But then again, you know, Sonny Bono became like the mayor of Palm Springs until his untimely death. And I think Clint Eastwood, I think, has also been a mayor of some small town as well. So it's not unheard of for someone to be a creative person who then lives in a small town or what have you and becomes like, you know, a city council person or a mayor or something. And like I said, this was a huge gamble on their part, and I don't think it's going to pay off. I think it's going to really hurt the convention.
Yeah, we'll just see what comes out of this convention, because I'm pretty sure, because this con takes place in the next 2 weeks or so, April 12th to the 14th, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get a lot of stories out of that event.
Oh, there will be stories,
and we'll definitely discuss those.
Possibly video too.
Yeah. Because a lot of the YouTuber side that stands with Vic are also just kind of like, are also planning to attend too, or planning to support it in some way possible. Because there was actually a YouTuber who said like, yeah, if you can't go to Comic-Con, I'll fund your tickets. Like, okay, sure, whatever. And yeah, we're just gonna see what just comes out of this, and just kind of see. It's just pretty much a wait and see event.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's really hard to say whether or not, like, if this will affect numbers, because Team 4-star is going to be there. There's people already who've already booked their flight, hotel room, their registration, and can't exactly back out at the last minute. And also, honestly, theoretically, let's say that we were panelist guests at this event for whatever reason or another, theoretically speaking.
Yeah.
We'd be in a rock and a hard place whether or not we want to be a part of it or not.
Yeah, or to put this in another perspective, let's just take because it's a smaller event. So we've done panels for TitanCon before, and TitanCon, I'm sorry if you guys as an example, as this will be your last year. And
we love you, TitanCon.
You guys were great. You guys were fabulous. Fantastic. That's what the line is. As a person who's cosplayed the Ninth Doctor, I will say this. You were fantastic. And you know what? So was I. Last line of this thing. But let's just say hypothetically, they grabbed someone we're not, someone who has a very bad reputation. We're not even going to use Vic Mignogna in this. We'll just call this person X. I think there's enough person X's out there that they would have people we would go like, you know what? I'm not feeling comfortable about this. We'd be put in a very interesting position because, on the one hand, I want to do my panels and there's people there who, and obviously they're not coming to see us, but will come to our panels, could learn some stuff and what have you. On the other hand, we don't like how they're running the convention itself by making some very bad choices. With this convention, it gets even more complicated because this would add in another level. Let's say they did contact us and they're going to pay for our flight and our hotel room. And now we've made a commitment to them, which is essentially a job. This is no different than if you made a commitment to a convention where you're going to be boothing a table as a cosplay person for whatever company hires cosplay people to stand around and sell their DVDs or Blu-rays most of the time now. So, I would be put in a really tough position. I'd probably try to make it clear to everyone on the stream, possibly, on all our social media saying, look, we do not endorse the fact that this guy has been brought into this convention, but we were essentially hired on to do a panel. We will do our panels. And if anyone is feeling uncomfortable or whatever, you want a place to hide, you could hide in our panel rooms for the 4 panels we're doing or whatever we're set up for. To kind of have the senpai-ish attitude that we seem to usually have anyways. Or sensei in my regard. Since I tend to now don't think myself as a senpai, I think of myself much more
we're
as a
the cool
sensei.
aunt and uncle at cons that will give our niece/nephew birthday cake and make them watch rated R movies.
This is true. Yes, dinner is cake and dessert is rated R movies. But I think if we were given the full package of airfare and hotel, I wouldn't back off from it. If we were living in, I don't know if Irving is near, let's just say it's hypothetically near Dallas, because I don't actually know where it is on the map.
Well, that's what Google Maps is for, but keep talking, Jared.
So let's just say we live in Dallas for whatever reason, or whatever major metropolitan city is near Irving. And it's just going to be a 20-minute car drive for us to go and do the panels.
Yeah, it's close to DFW, so
okay, yes.
Dallas.
So it's like Fort Worth. It's probably a little Dallas. Think of Dallas kind of like Boston, as I understand it, where it's just there's Boston, but then there's 20 cities surrounding Boston.
Yeah, it's right about west of Dallas and north east of Arlington.
Yeah. Okay, then it actually is its own town. Never mind. I was thinking it was more like Fort Worth. How Fort Worth's kind of its own thing, but it's part of Dallas and whatever. But okay, let's just say it's a 20-minute, 30-minute drive for us. I think then I might drop out because I'd be like, you know what? We'll save the drive. We're good. So it'd kind of be more of that category for me, dependent on that. And same thing with TitanCon. TitanCon's a 15-minute drive, maybe less if we have no traffic. And we could save the 10-minute drive and just go to Disneyland, which is also like a 10-minute drive. So my options are, with TitanCon with Badman X or Disneyland, I'll take Disneyland. And the same thing with that. If my options are Six Flags over Dallas or Kamea Con, I'll take Six Flags over Dallas. I've heard good things from Chris Patton, so name drop. So I'm going to assume it's good. People are going to tell me it's not Six Flags over Dallas, it's Six Flags Fort Worth. I'm like, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. There's a Six Flags right around there. Or a Six Flags equivalent. I know there's a Dallas roller coaster park that's supposed to be pretty good. But I think that's kind of how I feel about it. And I feel sorry for anyone who's kind of put in that position of they're putting us up. Now what? Because that was always my thing. There's a certain convention in the local area that we refuse to go to because of their terrible business practices and kind of the terrible event they normally host.
Oh, which one? Because there's a few of them.
Let's talk about the one that occurs, let's just say, in the winter months.
Oh.
There's a certain one that we've had the longest rivalry with. Well, actually, that put us on there. We would prefer you not coming to our convention list. So they started it. This was not us. This was us claiming our concerns about how they ran the event, and them saying, that's great. Could you please not show up next year? We weren't officially banned. We were just frowned upon. And let's say that convention, since they're kind of sort of under new management-ish, sent us the message of, hey, we'll put you up in a hotel room, meals, do panels. You know, every time we get to like December, I start talking about what if this happens, how we're going to approach this. And every year we never come up with a complete answer because
I'm usually working that weekend anyway.
You're working that weekend, but at the same time, I'm like, I have friends who'll be going to that event and a free hotel room to do 4 panels or something and hang out with my friends 90% of the time that I'm not doing my panels. And they have nothing else to do, so they can actually go to my panels. I'm just going to do my panels for my friends. Doesn't sound bad. On the other hand, it looks like I'm endorsing an event that I have not endorsed in like 7 years, thereabouts.
Dang, we're gonna have to call this live stream a stream in Scarlet to Tea Time with Scarlet.
Yeah, really.
Convention tea time.
So because of that, I'd be put in a very awkward position because of what they're offering versus what they are. And, you know, obviously a small convention in Texas probably isn't going to call us out to do panels. But, you know, it was an interesting thought experiment to go over. Would we still go? And that, I'm not sure. I think...
Especially like this late in the game when there's like 2 weeks left to decide.
Yeah. And if they are giving us a hotel room and a flight, especially if that flight's already been paid for and all that, it'd be really terrible of us to suddenly cancel everything. But it's kind of terrible of them doing this weird publicity stunt. So,
and also it makes you wonder, like, if like the majority of the people attending the convention now because Vic is back will be all the Vic stands and also the YouTubers who also stand with Vic as well, which is kind of like its own cluster in itself. Because,
oh my God, those people.
And I was also thinking to myself, is this the audience I really want to be presenting my panels to?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that, but that's assuming there is an influx of those people. We can't say there will be because I don't think there will be. It's a little late in the game to suddenly get a flight out to Texas and a hotel room.
You'd be surprised, Jared.
Really? I hate humanity so much. All right.
Again, it's a lot of it I just really feel is just wait and see.
It is. I'm curious to see how this all turns out. There'll be video. There'll be stories. I'm sure there'll be YouTubers who will go to it and then bitch about they were booing him when he went on stage.
It's not just the YouTubers, but also the people who follow those YouTubers. Because if that one lawyer can get like 1,000 views, like at any time he goes on live stream, because he's gone up to like 5,000 views on his live streams.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's a scary amount of numbers.
That is. That's it. Again, like I said, this is a gamble, and I don't think the gamble is going to work. Because I think it's too late in the game to do that. I don't know how many people really want to go to a Dragon Ball-centric convention in the first place. Especially when most of the guests that you might be interested in meeting are going to step out. Didn't Chris Sabat also step down?
I don't see his name here, but let me just...
I thought I heard that as well, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I'm just going by the information that's presented here on Anime News. Let me just check that. Yeah, they didn't mention Chris Sabat on the list on ANN.
Because I know Chris Sabat's been vocal about his dislike over the years of Vic Mignogna. That like he worked with him because he had to be cordial for business reasons, but didn't particularly like him as a person. And whether or not he's just bandwagoning with everyone else, or that's actually true, I don't really know. I've never met Chris Sabat, and I can't, I never met him, nor have I heard any behind the scenes stuff. I have heard behind the scenes stuff about
Chris Sabat is still listed on here.
Okay, then.
So, yeah, basically, wow, there was actually like
What?
There was this disclaimer earlier on the website, but I guess like once a page loaded, like all the disclaimer disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like, yeah, guest star subject to cancellation.
Yeah.
Let's see, Ryo Horikawa, who is awesome.
Well, he's flying in from Japan.
Yeah.
He's not gonna just
again rocking to her place.
Yeah. I don't even think he knows about any of this controversy stuff. I think this is way out of his wheelhouse. Like if we went to a Japanese convention somehow, we would have, and then there's some issues with, some Japanese voice actor, but we had no clue because that news doesn't really make it to the States. Oh, like the one guy from the Yakuza series who got busted for doing cocaine, and now they're trying to like delete him out of the games and stuff like that, or replace his voice rather with any subsequent games, or his voice will be replaced. And the game they were just about to release, they want to like redub it, but they already just released it in Japan, and they're about to release it to America, and they want to like redub it before it comes to America and patch it so that anyone who has it can.
Yeah, I just clicked on Click More here. Whew. All guests subject to cancellation. All guests will be signing in Celebrity Hall on days they appear in the show. Please view your schedule, blah, 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 blah.
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, you may as well.
Yeah, they actually had to list a cancellation here. Monica Rial, Bulma, Jason Douglas, Sarah Wiedeff, Damon Mills, and Josh Grell.
All right.
And featured guests, which would have our friends at Team 4-Star.
Yeah, who are always cool and very funny, and I hope they get a later night panel where they can get a little more blue, because, man, do those guys like getting blue.
Let's see. Yeah, Team 4-Star's on there. Opie Senpai. Sounds like a name you'd come up with, Jared.
Yeah, it feels like if I did hentai reviews, it's what I would have called my review channel. Until I got older, and I was like, man, I should go by Opie Sensei. Duh. Senpai. Pfft.
But yeah, that's the Kamehameha Con in a nutshell. That's the tea.
We can't go a year. We can't go a month without more con drama happening.
Well, specifically the Kick Vic saga.
Yeah.
And a lot of it I just really feel is just wait and see, because like both sides are just kind of like just flinging at each other. And meanwhile, I'm here. I just want to know how this is all going to play out.
Yeah, I want real information, not people speculating and yelling at each other. Or the weird, hey, one person who's on the Kick Vic side once had an inappropriate tweet. Like, oh yeah? Well, one person on the Stick of Fix side has an inappropriate tweet. And it's like, okay, this is getting us nowhere. This is not what this is about. This is about a man who's done some inappropriate things with his fans and other voice actors, and it would be really, really nice if we didn't have to see him at cons. I don't care if he still works. If someone's willing to hire him, that's fine. I'm not one of those he has to lose his job and his livelihood. I don't want him to be at cons because I don't want him to harass attendees, nor do I want him to make some of the female voice actresses, it's redundant, to make them feel uncomfortable. I want all guests to feel comfortable, and I want all attendees to feel comfortable, and thus I don't want him at events. He can still work. I don't care. Funimation wants to hire him. That's their prerogative. I'm not going to judge a company I already dislike, but I do feel that we are in that position of conventions should think about the safety of their attendees and their guests.
All right, with that said, let's go over WonderCon, which is a convention that we are attending this weekend.
This is a convention that should have no drama unless it comes from within, like people we know who are troublemakers to begin with.
Okay, first things first, let's talk about the panels that we're running at this convention. So we're running East and West at 4:30 on
East and
Saturday.
West Connection.
Jared, tell us more about that panel.
This is a panel that we've been bringing to comic book type conventions for a while now, and it's about how American media has influenced Japan, mostly Japan, although technically we've influenced other countries, but we primarily focus on Japan, and how Japanese media has heavily affected American products. Some of this is based on adaptations like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers or the Japanese live-action Spider-Man. It is amazing. And some of it comes down to just the weird stuff, like the fact that there's Disney manga and that there is, really terrible American adaptations of Japanese products. And some good ones. And some good ones, too.
And then also later in the evening of Saturday at 8 o'clock, we'll be talking about the mythology behind Final Fantasy.
Yes. go to this panel, people. I love doing this panel. Everyone has really enjoyed it. I almost always get a packed audience, so try to get there a little early. The panel consists of me looking at weapons, monsters, a few armors, and the summons, a lot of summons, and talking about what mythology they actually come from and what the general story is. I try not to prattle on too much, but man, when it comes to stuff like the Durandal, I love prattling on about the Durandal. Its 3 origins are amazing. And new things are on the docket this time around. So if you went to previous ones, you will see new stuff, I promise. And I have added 2 bonus rounds with fun facts about 2 very popular Final Fantasy creatures. I'm not going to say which 2. You're going to have to go to the panel, and when you learn the fun factoids, you're like, oh my god, I just learned fun factoids. So I am very hyped about this panel. I've been looking forward to it. This is my whole day. My whole WonderCon is built around wanting to do this one panel. Really is. East and West is coming together to look really cool, and it'll be a very different version than our previous versions, which is also good. It's always nice to change it up and add more stuff. And I am excited for that to come together. But man, oh man, am I so hyped about the Final Fantasy panel. I love being the professor standing in front of the classroom teaching people stuff and things. And trust me, you will learn stuff and things at that panel. You'll come up to me afterwards going like, oh my god, my brain is filled with knowledge stuff. Now what do, teacher? And I go, write an essay about goblins? And then you'll run off to write your essay. And I'm like, I don't know why the person's doing that. I'm not actually their teacher. But, some people might do that. Who knows? Other people just come up to me going like, oh my god, do you do other panels? And I go, yes, I do. Follow my social medias. You will learn of my other panels. So I'm very hyped up for this. I've been stressing about this convention because just little life things that have been happening, especially family-related things, which is not the fault of the convention at all, obviously. I mean, that's not like they control my family. Or do they? Do I need a tinfoil hat like some of those internet people? Maybe I do. But yeah, I'm very, very excited about our panels. They're going to be really awesome. Please check out the East and West connection and go to the Final Fantasy Mythology panel. You will not be disappointed. Even if you don't play Final Fantasy, you can still learn stuff about mythology. And mythology is awesome. It's all dark and violent and really dark and violent and occasionally silly, but mostly dark and violent. And it's so cool. And I'm very, very, very excited about this. And I've already been talking with people in my circle about doing another mythology type panel on another popular franchise. And we'll see if that happens later this year. But for now, it is not even started on yet. But yeah, very excited about this. Please attend our panels. Please say hi. Tell us how much you love the stream. That would really be nice.
All right, let's kind of just go through the programming schedule really quick because it's a pretty huge schedule.
Well, there's how many panel rooms this time around? Like 6 or something?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 panels going on at almost at any given time.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of just go through some highlights. I'll just go over through this quick. IP and board games, spiritual themes and comics.
Those could be interesting. IP and board games is more of a thing I might be down with because you know what I need? I need a really good pen and paper panel. Pen and paper RPG panel. To clarify that for people.
Oh, snap. 2:30 Friday, a conversation with Joelle Jones.
Oh, do we have to change our cosplays? She's already seen us in those outfits, though. I want to point that out.
This is true, but at the same time.
And I never read Lady Killer 2. I have time now.
I did read Lady Killer 2.
Oh, what'd you think of it?
I really liked it, and I really liked just how it ended. And it really leaves a lot more open story.
Yeah, and I had my issues of how Lady Killer 1 ended, so I was a little apprehensive about reading Lady Killer 2. But I really should. I'll go take a look at it when I have if I can.
I own it.
In the next 3 days. Oh no, not even 3 days. Friday, so Wednesday, Thursday, 2 days.
That's 6 issues, Jared.
I know, but I don't have a lot of free time.
It's like I kind of want to, but I just had to make sure I had the red dress here, and I also had the wig.
I do. I mean, we do have the boutonniere, and I do have the hat and the suit here. So, yeah, issue 2 cover variations of Peck and
Josie.
Thank you. We have those. Well, you might not have everything, so we.
I saw this just now.
Kind of information I could use like 2 weeks ago. All right. Let's keep going. Let's not get hung up on this.
Disco Nights with Chase Masterson.
All right.
CBLDF, Legacy of Censorship, Comics.
That's the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund. They're always interesting people. It's a very interesting panel. I'm sure it's very similar to the other ones, except for the cases they've been dealing with are obviously different because the years passed. I find that really interesting. And even if you don't know anything about law or copyright law or censorship law, it's actually really interesting. It'll teach you stuff. It'll put stuff in your brains.
Let's see. DC celebrates 80 years of Batman comics.
Okay.
Hollywood Dream Machines, vehicles of science fiction and fantasy.
That could be a little more cool.
Star Trek Inside the Writer's Room.
I need to know what writers they got on that one, because that's either like some of the greatest sci-fi writers of all time, or it's people I want to throw a brick at. So, yeah. Unless Robert Meyer is there. If Robert Meyer is there, I'm in regardless.
He's not here.
Then I don't care. Also, I need to try to remember his, because he has a third name. I need to remember his third name when I have the chance. I always call him Robert Meyer. That's what I knew him as from his credits. But he's an awesome guy, and whatever panels he's hosting, which I already know only one of them, because he hosts it every year, but he's got to be doing more, because dude's a Star Trek and James Bond aficionado.
All right, let's see. Being an author in the 21st century.
Okay, that might be good for me.
Transformers, Cyberverse going cyber.
Phrasing?
30th anniversary of Back to the Future Part 2.
Oh, I feel old.
Our favorite villains.
Okay.
FX Legion screening Q&A.
Oh, FX, the station, Legion, the series, screening. I was like, what the hell is FX Legion? Yeah, I've been wanting to read that, but watch that, but I'm very worried about the portrayal of people with mental disorders, so I haven't. I've heard good things, but then again, I've seen half an episode of The Gifted, and I really liked that half an episode I watched. So, I'm behind on my mutant-related television.
And of course, 8 o'clock, the Robotech panel.
I just wanted to immediately just smash cut to like me and was it me, Stan, and Deb? No, it was me, Ramses, and Deb, I think. Yeah, it was me, Ramses, and Deb. And we were just like broken after going to that panel.
I ran into you guys like, what happened?
We went to the Robotech panel. The figures. Oh god. The artwork in the comic. And the stupid board game. And Crystal Dreams isn't gonna be made.
All right, let's see. Let's move on to Saturday.
And the stupid movie that'll never come out.
Dream artwork, She-Ra and the Princesses of Power.
Mm-hmm.
Living in a post-Toys R Us world, navigating the future of toy retail, manufacturing, collecting.
Don't make me cry.
Welcome to the golden age of Dungeons & Dragons and mass media and pop culture.
Yes, I'm going to that. Let's go to that. I'm going to that.
Are you ready to wake up at 10:30 a.m. or before 10:30 a.m. because it's an early morning panel?
Do we want parking? Because if we want parking, we got to get up before 10:30 a.m.
Okay. Most dangerous women at WonderCon.
Well, that's you.
Yes.
And then probably one or more of my exes.
Hasbro and IDW present the Transformers panel.
Ramses will be there.
DC Superhero Girls video presentation Q&A.
Oh, I
actually like that
That was
show.
a fun show.
Yeah, they have Zatanna back in. She's part of the main now,
Okay.
which makes me happy. I love Zatanna. She is best girl.
That was just that silly, like, all the DC females just go to the same high school and shenanigans. And I'm like, I'm fine with this.
Let's see. Stargate 25th anniversary.
Oh, I need to go to that. It's one of my favorite sci-fi movies.
I need to watch the movie again.
Yeah, cosplays Daniel Jackson. You can be my Shari. You can be my Shari. It'd be great.
I just know it's just the same guys who did Independence Day who did Stargate.
Well, sort of. Yeah.
Kotobuki has Spring Update 2019.
I don't know. I don't really read manga much.
Mm-hmm. Stargate costume budgeting.
It's a military uniform. Like, look, as people who cosplayed in military uniforms before, getting the patches might be a little more, but I don't even remember what patches they wear. If you're going to go SG1, then yeah, you're going to need the SG1 patch or one of the SG team patches or SGC when it got switched over to SGC, which is Stargate Command. And I think they ended up having SGC on most generic guys, and then SG1 had SG1 because that's what they had on season 1, and they're not changing it. But I guess if you're trying to do like the armor, the guards, the Goa'uld. If you do the Goa'uld, then yeah, you're probably going to need to figure out the budget on that one. But if you're going as like Daniel Jackson or Colonel O'Neill or any of those other characters, Kowalski, Captain Carter, not Teal'c because that's that same problem I just mentioned. But if you're going as any of them, if you're going to any of the characters from Atlantis that are like the human military characters, it's a military uniform, and you just have to find the patches, which you could probably find online with very little trouble. I'm just saying. But I don't know, Stargate cosplayers. That'd be fun.
Okay. Happy birthday, Batman.
So we get 2 Batman birthday panels.
Inside the Big Bang Theory's writer's room.
Racists. I'm
See.
sorry, it's a show about, hey, let's make fun of someone with autism. That's hilarious. You know what's hilarious? Mental disorders and people who can't socialize and people with anxiety. That's funny. Let's make fun of those people. Yeah, isn't it funny? Nerds are socially awkward and have autism. Yeah. You guys who did the Big Bang Theory, I hope there's a warm place in hell for you. And when you get there, tell them Jared sent you.
Let's see. Pop Culture Exchange in the Pacific Rim. Okay, that's us. And
That's
we're
us.
at 4 o'clock. Okay, we're at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock. Okay. So to clarify, it is Pop Culture Exchange in the Pacific Rim.
And we're going up against the Twilight Zone panel.
No, I wanted to go to that.
Too.
Can we just hand the panel off to other people and just run? I wanted to see the people who gave us Get Out give us Twilight Zone.
Their new movie, Us, is actually pretty good.
Yeah, someone messaged me about that saying, oh my God, it's amazing. I want to see it again. And I'm like, okay.
It takes place at the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk.
I had no idea what it was about. So I was just like, okay.
I just know people are scared to go to the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk because...
Shit, anyways. This place is scummy right now.
Tarzan, John Carter, and Edward Rice Burroughs.
The most Sue-happy estate since the estate of Maurice LeBlanc.
That's a Build R2 and BB-8.
Meh.
Science of Avengers Endgame.
Meh.
Welcome to Thunderdome 101 with Vita and Danny.
Who are Vita and Danny?
Terror of the 2020s, where horror's heading into the next decade.
Oh. All right. That could be interesting. I like horror. I don't like modern horror. Well, there are a couple good ones. But it's very hit and miss nowadays.
Gay geeks and where to find them.
Oh, those are some of my favorite people. I love gay nerds. They're awesome.
Let's see. Star Trek SoCal Podcasters and you.
I'm good.
Science of Star Wars. Marvel Fan Challenge. Comic Creator Connection Saturday session. 7 o'clock.
I have not signed up for that. Stan can. He doesn't need to go to my panel. You can go there. Go, Stan. Meet other artists again.
Writing Fear.
That'll be during my panel, though, isn't it?
7:30.
Yeah, I can't go to that.
And at 8 o'clock is Mythology and Final Fantasy. That's us.
That's the one where We'll know you're at the right panel because we'll be blasting out.
Your covered face your fears.
No.
I like your covered face your fears.
It's going to find an appropriate pro wrestling theme about Final Fantasy or mythology, but I can't think of one off the top of my head, so I'm going to go with Real American, Hulk Hogan's theme. That'll work.
All right, let's move on to Sunday.
Or the audio version of his other theme, the older one, the Rock and Wrestling theme.
And after the Mythology and Final Fantasy panel, we'll be going straight to Norms because they never close.
And ice cream. On top of some sort of cake or brownie or pie. Something is getting a la moded. And it will go in my stomach.
All right, Sunday. Career paths into game development.
There, we have 2 people who can go to that and they can leave us alone.
Let's see, remembering Stan Lee.
As the guy who screwed over Jack Kirby.
Reboot. Reinvigorating a tired franchise or worst idea ever.
Oh. Wait. Okay, so it's reboot the concept, not reboot the terrible live-action show that got 1 season and everyone involved with it should feel ashamed.
That is correct.
Okay. I'm fine with it dependently. I'm dependently fine with it. There's some reboots I really liked. There's some remakes I really like.
Marvel Rising Heart of Iron world premiere.
Oh, doing a new arc in there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
CBLDF, Know Your Rights Education Edition.
They're doing 2 panels. All right.
In Plain Sight, using everyday fashion to express your inner superhero. It's like a
Bounding panel right there, yeah.
Who's running this?
That's not going to make us happy.
I don't know these people.
Yeah, it's not going to make us happy. I told you.
Nah, it's more of a neutral type thing.
All right.
I don't know these people. Okay, moving on. Might be interesting. Let's see. Inside La La Land Records. X-Men, a reflection of ourselves and society.
I think I go with the line from Deadpool 2. An outdated, what was it? An outdated metaphor for 1960s racism.
Also running at the same time, our superhero social justice warriors.
I want to just drink myself to death now. All right.
Batman versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
God, I hate when they do those stupid panels.
Archer, 1999 advanced screening. How to be a pro gamer.
Can I skip Sunday?
Spotlight and Peter S. Beagle, Super Asian America, Jack Kirby tribute.
Oh. Yay.
Starship SmackDown Anaheim.
All those can be funnish.
Swipe right for superheroes.
Swiping left on that panel. I don't even know what that means. I'm straight. Wait, do straight people have a version of this? Because I think it's just the grinder.
Comics, Coffee, and Conversation. Retro Review, The Matrix 20th Anniversary.
Curious as to who's running that.
Matrix 20th Anniversary?
Yeah.
Ready, Set, Geek.
Never
heard of them.
They're like a pod card or something.
Oh, Lauren Stone is also running that too because she was the one who loves our...
Oh. Okay, so Ready, Set, Geek. Remember when we went to Comic-Con Revolution and I went to that one podcasting panel and I wanted to kill myself afterwards?
Yes.
They ran that.
Oh, sorry to hear that. Hard pass?
But Laura's there and she's good at her job. She's really good at her job. I actually appreciate her doing her job. We'll think about it.
Panel I didn't see like the best nerd year movie ever.
Which means I'm wondering if Robert Meyer isn't here. And if he's not there, I have no reason to go really, other than my panels, which go to my panels are going to be amazing. 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock on Saturday. Cultural Exchange of the Pacific Rim, Final Fantasy Mythology.
But the nice thing about WonderCon is they have a pretty huge dealer's hall. You can just spend like a whole day there. I do appreciate their dealer's hall / all artist alley.
Yeah, because Robert also does the Bond versus Bond panel and stuff
that's right.
that.
That was a good panel. I love the Bond versus Bond panel.
Usually does the Star Trek, X amount of years of boldly going where no one has gone before, since I think he's the modern version of it. I don't feel right with Robert not being there. I feel like every year I talk about how I want to go to his panels. I need to get him to sign my copy of Free Enterprise, and it sounds like he's not there. And I'm like in my like sad place now. I'm like, no, Robert Meyer, you need to be there. You're one of the things I look forward to. This is one of the only times out of the year I ever get to meet you. I've talked to him before and told him how much I love Free Enterprise. It's one of my favorite movies. It is a very strong reflection of my life. More so the older I get. Especially considering that for those who've seen the movie or those who have not seen the movie, see the movie. But if you have seen the movie, essentially when I was in college, I was Mark. And when I got into my 30s, I was Robert. So that's kind of how it is. Although some people would say I was always Robert, and some people would say I'm still Mark. So it just depends on who you ask in my circle of friends. But most people agree I'm very much Robert. And watch the movie and then ask yourself, is Jared Robert or Mark? Because I think this depends on periods of my life, but I have very much been a Robert for a fair chunk of my life. And I hope I have the same ending Robert has, because that would be the most important ending to me. They were going to do a sequel, by the way, where Robert actually gets married to his girlfriend. And they were going to get more than just William Shatner to show up. But something fell apart with that. I don't know the full story on how that all fell apart, but I would have liked a sequel. I just don't know if it would have the same charm as the original. But I've shown you the original. All my friends have seen the original. I've seen the original. The only movie. I've seen Free Enterprise 100 times in my life. And I don't know if I've introduced it to a wider slew of my friends at this point. But I feel like I should. I feel like I should just take that to every con and play it for people. It's a little dated, but it takes place in like 1996. Like they specifically say it takes place in 1996. Because they're referencing that Shadows of the Empire had just come out, or maybe it was 95 when Shadows actually just came out. 95 or 96, so it's right around there, because they're talking about how Shadows of the Empire just came out, and they have references to things of that general era, that general pre-Episode 1 era where it takes place. They even go to a Toys R Us. It's great. I love Free Enterprise and Robert Meyer. If you're not going to the con, I am very saddened. If you're going to the con, but in like a smaller capacity, I hope I run into you, sir. For you are an American hero, and I salute you.
Speaking of William Shatner, there was this tweet from William Shatner. Let's see. Star Trek continues as Block. They use images from Star Trek, the original series, to promote their series. I met the actor that played Kirk during a con. We took a photo, and he ended up doing panels using that photo to say I taught him how to play Kirk. Would you extend my
heard that
opinion
story?
to me?
Oh my god,
you have?
I have heard that story.
Oh,
God, I can't remember who it was from, but they were making comments saying that like Mignano had been saying a lot of things about him and Shatner actually being friends for years. That they've known each other really well, and they're always in contact. And there's been no proof of that outside of the one photo he shows people. And I guess Shatner's at that point of going like, I don't know this man. The show was canceled a long time ago, not by William Shatner or by the estate of Gene Roddenberry, but by CBS, because they were producing Discovery, and they didn't want anything competitive. Also, they did it without securing the rights to do the original characters and stuff like that, which, that's a super huge no-no. When CBS owns those rights and the likenesses to those characters, you're not allowed to just randomly do your own Star Trek. It's not how it works. Star Trek is not public domain. It is owned by two corporations. It's complicated. And Robert Meyer could explain it better than me. But yeah, you're not allowed to do that. So the show was taken off YouTube because of CBS. And yeah, I'd heard that Shatner and Mignogna had met once, but Mignogna conflated it significantly from everyone I had heard stories about. I've heard stories about that one for a while. Because I used to make comments saying, like, I like his Star Trek panels. It's like, oh yeah, apparently he's buddy of Shatner now. And I'm like,
what?
How? When? And then I heard stories like, oh, he's posting this picture of the two of them together at a con. And I'm like, I could post a picture of me together with William Shatner at a con. Doesn't mean William Shatner and I are related. or friends or anything. It just means I met William Shatner once. Hell, I think there's a picture somewhere of me and Burt Ward. It doesn't mean I hang out with Burt Ward and ask him stories about Bruce Lee. Burt Ward and Bruce Lee knew each other, by the way. It's pretty cool. Burt Ward's the martial arts and stuff he actually uses in the Batman 66 TV series was because I think he went to Bruce Lee's dojo or something like that when he was younger. No, I mean, he was younger, but whatever. Yes. And that's chronicled in his book, Boy Wonder, My Life in Tights. If you can find a copy of it, because I believe it is massively out of print, I would highly recommend finding a copy. It's great. Mine is signed by Burt Ward, a man I've met twice. I have a picture from probably one of those times somewhere. The second time I did not, but I kind of wish I did. But then what am I going to do? Like, go around and say, like, I should be Robin because I know Burt Ward. Holy pictures. We've been framed. Oh, yes, sold it. Perfect. I'm the best Robin.
Yeah, and his best girl is Umi Shatner's.
He plays Love Live?
People are asking him, like, who's your best girl in Love Live? Like, well, I'm kind of partial to blonde, so Ellie, but okay, it's Umi.
How does he know that series? Is this a real William Shatner?
This is a real tweet. I actually did see the tweet. Like, wait, is this real life?
I mean, he has enough free time to play like School Idol Festival, I guess. Maybe Shatner's like secretly. Oh, he has like grandkids and stuff. I'm sure one of them's into it.
Yeah,
that's probably what it is. He has a grandkid that loves Love Live, and he's like, which one's that one? She's pretty cute. That's Eri. She's like everyone's favorite because she's blonde. Yeah. Oh, the blue-haired one has a bow and arrow. What's her name? Umi. I like her. She has a bow and arrow. That's pretty cool. Although if she holds it that way, she's just going to slice her finger open. Grandpa. It's like, I'm just being honest. I know how to shoot a bow and arrow. Did you see that episode of Star Trek where I shot a bow and arrow? I have seen that episode of Star Trek where he shot a bow and arrow. It's a good episode. That is, was it Tuesday's Child? It's Tuesday's Child's a tile, that one. But yeah, there's that episode where Spock and Kirk are forced to use like bows and arrows to like hold off some tribes people. While a woman is giving birth and McCoy is like trying to keep her from dying in the birthing process. Such a good episode. I love the original Trek, by the way, people.
All right, I guess this wraps it up for Streaming Scarlet. Who knows? We might change his name to our live stream to Tea Time with Scarlet.
I kind of like that. I think that this has been a fun episode. I hope I haven't like offended too many people.
Well, yeah, check out. Well, given like the tone of our image banner and the tone of me going at it, I think Tea Time with Scarlet would be an appropriate title.
We need a picture of the dolls with their teacups. So that needs to be our new background thing.
We'll figure it out.
We'll take away the meow sticks. We'll just take your dolls with the little table they have of them drinking tea. But they're both girl dolls. I'm like, no one cares. I don't even know if any of our viewers know the difference between male meow sticks and female meow sticks. I know the difference. You know the difference. But do they know the difference?
That's a good question.
Can't get them in the Pokemon Go.
Oh.
Snap. I ripped on a game that was popular 5 years ago.
I don't know how updated Pokemon Go is.
I don't either, actually. They can totally be up to this generation. I have no idea.
Well, anyway, this has been another edition of the Streamin' Scarlet. Do check out our website. We do have a couple of new con reports up, including Big Apple Comic Con, Katsucon. We have the Katsucon podcast up, and we will be posting the Big Apple Comic Con podcast sooner rather than later. And we'll be at WonderCon, so if you see us at the con, don't forget to say hi. We'll be in costumes and things.
And if you will be in Boston some point in April, we too shall be there for Boston Anime Boston. Boston Anime Boston. Yes, that's what it's called.
And do feel free to follow us on our socials. Our socials are listed in the bio dealy here on YouTube. And don't forget to support us on Ko-Fi. $20 can pay for a day of parking at WonderCon because parking here ain't cheap.
Yeah, I don't want to think about that. Can we not think about that? Let's not think about that.
Anywho, so we will see you next Tuesday at 8.
Woof, woof, woof. Woof, 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 woof. Dumb dog.